Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, are we live? Hold on. Let me double check. Uh, oh wow, we are live. Sorry guys. Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. First, I want to say Merry Christmas to all of you and thank you so much for watching these past 3 years. As you guys know, it has been quite the journey, and I am so happy to have you guys along with me. Next, I want to issue a thank you. And, there are some people that I want to thank above all else that really have skyrocketed my platform. And that is the OnlyFans whores, the simps, and the fake traditional conservative women. Thank you for keeping me employed. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have a job. Thank you. Someone said, Pearl, you look like you just got railed. All right. I'm not having the best hair day, okay? Could you just leave me be? You guys are too much sometimes. Okay, as you guys know, if you want to contribute, go to theaudacitynetwork.com and get the yearly or monthly subscription. I do read you guys' comments that are in the live chat that is on the website, so make sure you do that. Okay, so today's topic, we are going to be talking about friendship. Now, most people believe that friendship is important to having a happy life. Most people believe that relationships are important. Now, as you guys know, all of the data is showing that men and women are going further and further apart. And I'm not here to sell hope. I'm not here to sell dreams. It would be much easier for me to do a stream saying, yes, there's going to be families, everything's going to swing back, but there is zero indication that that's going to happen. So, what is the definition of a friendship? A friend is somebody you care about, trust, enjoy spending time with, that makes you feel happy and supported. And friendships can vary based on many factors. Now, friendships have a tendency to last 17 years, but only 6 of 29 friends people make in their lifetime last that long. A study of 2,000 people found that people lose touch with almost 50% of their friends. Research shows up to 70% of close friends and 52% of social networks dissolve after 7 years. And people regularly make new friends until their mid-20s, but friendship social circles have a tendency to shrink after that. And childhood friendships last a lifetime for most people. According to Jerry Hall, it takes about 50 hours of relationships to move from acquaintance to casual friend, and around 90 hours to become a friend, and 200 hours to become a new or best friend. Yeah, so in order to get a best friend, you got to put 200 hours in, and it just seems like the older we get, the less that we have the time. And as I was reading about friendship and about these trends, it really did match up with what I saw in my own personal life. They say that most friendship circles will dissolve after 7 years. That was pretty much true. And I would say out of every 29 friends, what did I say? 6 of 29 friends, people make it last, 17 years. I would say that's about true. That's kind of what I've seen. Okay, so factors that can affect the length of a friendship are shared experiences, mutual respect, and effort from both individuals. Now, an interesting thing that I've been seeing on social media is both men and women talking about how they have no close friends. Now, I'm going to show you guys a couple of videos that really piqued my curiosity into this topic. So this is one.
I am 25 and I have no friends.
Let me put this. Oh, wait, hold on.
I am.
So this is like a
20
compilation of all of them. Let's see.
I am 25 and I have no friends.
That's when I realized nobody cares about you in this world.
What the fuck do you do when you're depressed and you don't know what the fuck is going on with your life? I'm 23, I'm about to graduate. All these kind of good things are happening around me, but man, I have been more depressed in my life.
Because I don't have any friends. And honestly, I don't think I've ever had friends.
I don't know, man. I'm just tired of being alone, bro. Shit's actually mad, sad, and depressing. Hand on heart, man. Yeah, it's sad.
And the only thing I won was being alone.
And I tried to fill the void, like, with streaming and that, or, like, playing games, but it don't work.
Let me play it one more time. Just to, I think you guys missed the
I
beginning.
am 25 and I have no friends.
That's when I realized
Oh, wait, no, we didn't. Okay. Then I have one more I'm going to show you. And for a lot of men, this seems to almost be pragmatic. So there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Terry Joe Jr. And he had a video titled Why You Don't Want Friends, Family, or a Partner Anymore.
So this is an issue globally today, bro. Globally. This is an issue, and most likely for those of you that clicked on this video, a lot of you have this mindset. Like, you don't want friends, family, or partner anymore. I'm going to tell you why you think this way. And you shouldn't put the stamp down that things are going to be this way forever. It's just you're probably making a transition. You should never be closed-minded and, yeah, I'm going to be single for life. I don't want any more to do with nobody else. And I just this and that. Like, that's not a good mindset to have. You have to be optimistic. You have to be open-minded. But I'm going to tell you guys today the reason why you think this way. And we've all been there, bro. I used to have a shitload of friends, was involved with family, had a girl, and you never know how life is going to pan out. You never know what you're going to get hit with, man. And like, I'm a people person. People still enjoy talking to me wherever I go, but it's like, it's more so to do with me than anything else. And it's because of what life has thrown our way. We have a standard. There's not many people in the world, if you look at like the majority of the world, that has these high of standards. And the reason we have this high of standards is because we accepted a lot of stuff around ourselves and we got let down. We expected a lot of the friends we had to be friends for life, and we expected the girl we were with that was going to be our girl. We expected family not to screw us over, but here we are. Things happen. Life can take a curveball so fast it's not even funny, and we don't want to accept a lot of people into our lives. I'm very selective. If I'm going to have these friends groups and everything else, it's got to be solid as hell, like some gang shit type shit, bro. Like, they're not friends with a million other people. Like, we're close. And whoever they're friends with, we're friends with, and it's just like, it's a solid group. Because this is what's needed today in the world, because the world's nuts. And same thing with your girl. If she's talking to a bunch of different guys, then is that really your girl? No. We have high standards, bro. We have high standards. And that's why a lot of us are in the position we're currently in. Because we have high standards. We don't accept just anything like a lot of other people do. And then that's when you get the 40, 50-year-old people calling people like me because things went wrong for so long. And that's what a lot of other people is going to go through eventually. Like, I'm still young. There's going to be a lot of people that's even younger than me, around the same age, that's going to go through a lot of stuff. Somewhere down the line, they're going to get nailed. People's going to get lost. The most important thing is that you don't lose yourself. The most important thing is that you do not lose yourself. You don't. You have to be who you are. You have to have standards. And this is what makes a man anyways, is a man with standards. You can't just accept anything in your life. That's some kid shit. A lot of people today is involved in the kid shit. We ain't doing it. We did it before when we actually were kids. We're not kids no more. We're grown adults. And to have these backstabbing bums around us, to have females we're unsure about around us, and family members who don't got our backs, who think they can just use us for money or some dumb shit, it's not happening. It's not happening. And this is probably why you don't want friends, family, or a partner around you anymore, because a lot of people is bullshit and they don't really got you like that. That is why. So, the best thing you can do under these circumstances is become a hyper-focused individual. Do not cut corners. Don't beat around the bush. Become the best you can be. Create as much value as you possibly can. And carry on in life. And what's going to happen is going to happen. I don't recommend being that close-minded where you're completely giving up on people and everything else. You shouldn't, because you never know when great things can happen with other people. You don't know. And with this, with all this being said, I got friends, but it's like, where I come from, I don't have that group of friends where it's like all the time solid type stuff. I get along with a lot of people, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's more so acquaintances. Like there's a few people, like, bro, I'm probably closest with people that don't even come from where I come from. Like foreigners, literally. So it's like the people I'm closest with is scattered all over the world in different places, even some like 3 hours away from myself right now, 2 hours away. But it's like, to have a solid group where you come from, to have family on point, to have that girl, to have all these things intact, it's not an easy task today. You can have this stuff. You could have a girl, you could have friends groups, you could have family around you, but is it solid? Is it worthy? Or are you the one carrying everyone on your fucking back like a backpack? That shit's too heavy.
And this seems to be a common complaint from people. It seems like many people feel like they are the ones putting effort into relationships and friendships and not getting anything in return. You know, because I'm going to go through these in a bit, but I started polling people on Twitter and saying, for those of you that don't have close friendships, or for those of you that had friendships end, why? And this was one of the most common things I heard people say was, it's because I stopped putting in effort and the friendship just dissolved. Oh.
They ain't got you. It's like you got them. You're there for the benefit, for their benefit, but they ain't got you. You don't feel it. You feel used the whole time. And you don't feel like anyone's around you that's like, having high standards, bro, is going to protect you from a lot of BS. Is what it's going to do. You demand a lot from yourself. You can do so much for others, but can others do the same for you? You have to have people who's on kind of your level.
And to me, this is a guy, just in the background, he seems to be doing well for himself. It looks like he's got a good apartment that doesn't look cheap. It's not really the same vibe I get from some of the videos where The guy looks a little bit socially awkward, unattractive, not in shape, not in a shitty apartment. Like, it's interesting because two men with very different options in life are seemingly coming to the same conclusion, which is it's just not worth it anymore. And what's interesting is I'm seeing this pattern not only in relationships with women, but with friendships in general. I'm gonna keep going back.
Wavelength, at least in mindset, and they're building themselves up. They understand. They understand the world and how things have to be, because anything else is peanuts, man. It's peanuts. It's stupid. It shouldn't even exist. But you have lots of people just roaming around today, bro. They're in these friends groups, and it's not going to last. A lot of people have these girls, but it's not going to last. We've been there. Bro, I've been there a decade ago. A decade. It's time to get focused. It's time to transition. It's time to take your surroundings very seriously. Very seriously. And only the strong's gonna survive. Only the real ones are gonna do it right. Everyone else, they're gonna live 20 plus years of their lives coming up, and everything's gonna go to shit. And it's because they are shit. They didn't do the right things. They just lived their life kind of using other people and not using themselves as much as they should have to become a valuable human being to others around them. That is what everybody must do. So you having that kind of a standard, bro, it's going to push most people away. There's lots of people that even want to come.
And guys, you're right. Friendships should be mutual. So if you're in the chat right now, like the video, because I'm demonetized. I do this for free. I'm not even, the least you guys could do is hit the like button. Hit it, all right?
Around me, but I don't really let it happen. Like, I just kind of, I know what this is, just pushing shit away. And even like the amount of talking stages I've been in with females, it's like, I know what this is. And no, I'm not going to take it easy on you. No, I'm not. I know what this is. Why would I take it easy on you? That's unintelligent. I'd be naive. I'm sorry that I'm not stupid, guys. I'm sorry that I'm not stupid. I'm sorry you can't take advantage of me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Not even a little bit. Guys, I've been through it. A lot of you have been through it. And a lot of us have this mindset like we don't really want many people around us. I don't. I like selective. That's what I like. And the people I select, they're solid. And it's nothing even crazy. It's not like the next Albert Einsteins and it's like that, bro. They're just solid. They're not perfect. They're just solid people. You can feel it when you speak with them. You can feel it when you engage with them. They're actually a person that has done work, that has self-reflected, that has humbled themselves to know they must be of value to the people they're involved with. Not these other bloodsuckers out here, bro, that's trying to use you 24/7. Not happening. It is not happening. You're literally better off by yourself, bro. Like, literally. Like, I've worked myself to a level where most places I go, most people I run into, it's just like, there's nothing special anywhere. Y'all's the most averagest things ever. It's just like nothing excites me. People don't excite me, but there's the odd people that come around that excite me, and that's good. That's good. Not many people do. It's predictable. Someone's coming up. You already know what they're going to say. Predictable. It almost drives you nuts. It almost drives you nuts how predictable shit is. And it's because they ain't got a solid head attached to their skeleton. They just don't. And that's why a lot of things go the way they go, man, because we understand what the world is like, and we push people away because they're no good for us, and we already know it. And yeah, we're strict with our surroundings. It's called being partially intelligent. Oh my God.
And you guys are agreeing with me in the chat. You know, we have Nomi B says, over time, the realization kicks in that 99% of people aren't talking to. And, you know, when I watch women's videos about these things, a lot of times the way I would perceive it is they are either too lazy to go out and try making friends, or they would make videos saying they have no friends for attention. But men, it just seemed to be a little bit different for me. They just seemed exasperated, like used up in a way. Like they were tired of being used for their resources and their time from both men. I mean, women especially. We all know that on this channel, but it wasn't that simple. A lot of them seem tired of being used by everybody. And they're just sort of asking themselves, what do I get out of this? What do I get out of this friendship? I'm going to play the video a little bit longer.
There's a lot of things I was around my whole life that I had no business being around, but we're all brought up somewhere around certain types of people, and it took me a while for me to be able to spread my wings just because of the positions I found myself in life, but I spread my wings and no one can hold me back. I'm like the air, all over the place, doing whatever I want, doing as I please, growing as a human, just go, 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 go. And I just can't stand the individuals that come around and try to stop me from being me. Or looking at me and talking to me like, you know who I am, you don't know who I am. Every day's a...
I've even heard men say they don't like relationships because it comes with responsibilities. And when people care about you, if your mother cares about you, you have to go and visit her twice a year and you're obligated to. And it almost seemed like the responsibility of the relationship and the time it would take up, you know, men just sort of realized it wasn't worth their time anymore. Friends, family, both. I'm going to play this a little longer. I need to go switch something up there, so just give me a second, guys.
New day. I don't want to know who you are. Let's just live every day like it is. I don't care what your name is. I don't give a... We're new people every single day. Let's keep living every day like it's our last, and let's keep putting up this fight, and let's keep going on in life. It's fun. People need something to live for, man. There's so many people around you just looking for you to entertain them. That's what they're doing. That's all they want, is for you to entertain them because they are nothing. They ain't got a head in their shoulders. They just want you to come around to entertain them, make them feel good, make them do this, make them do that. Make me do it. How about you entertain me? You can't. I forgot. You can't. I can. I can entertain you. You can't entertain me. That's why we ain't close. And no, that's not the only reason why we're not close, but you just get the point. Most people's not that interesting, man. And I'm not even trying to be a prick. I'm just being serious. It's like, man, things is bullshit. There are the odd people that come around and you have a fairly intelligent conversation with and everything else, but other than that, it's a bunch of BS. It's just like, it almost hurts your head more than anything else. You just feel like, I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is why we just want to keep spreading our wings and keep growing past everything else, because most people don't want to grow. Most things around you don't want to grow. I want to grow. I want to spread my wings and fly off like a bird, to be honest. I don't want to deal with most things around. I just get away from me, get away from me, get away from me. I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't care. Please tell me something new. Tell me something different. Oh, yeah. You can't. I like new stories. I like fascinating things and conversations. I don't care about today. I don't, like, bro, let's talk about the weather today. Oh, it's a nice day today, ain't it? Who gives a... We can't... This is what I mean, man. It's annoying. It's just, bro, you hear it so much. Things just get annoying. People annoy me. It's like you just want to be around some more intelligent shit. So, because it's what's going to help us grow. And then some people get upset because we just kind of shrug them off and we don't want to talk. And it's like, I wasn't put on earth to entertain you. I'm not your pet. Like, I don't get it, man. People expect things from us all the time. And you know why? Because we're like their parents. We're like everyone's father. People expect things from us all the time because we're daddy. We're daddy. Daddy can bring value to the table. Yeah. And what do our children do? Extract value from us. And our actual children, they're supposed to do that, but are these our children? Is other grown adults everywhere around you our children? Your children? No. This is the sickening thing about it. This is what sickens me to death. I don't get it. And man, this has been going on for so many years. This ain't nothing new. This ain't something that just happened yesterday. This ain't something that happened last week. This has been going on for a decade or more, bro. Like, I was a kid once too. But I was a smart kid.
He reminds me of what I've seen too, and it's the phenomenon of people that are old enough to be adults but mentally are children. And I see this mostly oftentimes in the ladies, but the men, I see it in both genders. And I think it's a millennial thing. Like, we're the kind of the Disney adult. I think we're the generation that really just postponed adulthood as long as humanly possible.
Never like that, bro. There's people that's 20-some, 30-some, 40-some, and they're like that. I wasn't even like that as a kid. I was ahead of that as a kid. Like, you gotta be kidding me, guys. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, man, my type of people are a people in life with a thirst for growth and hunger. Those are my kind of people that know some shit, that know something, that get it. Not a lot of people get it. And it's just, it's annoying after a while. You can take some of it, you can take it a little bit, but as time keeps going on, it starts to drive you nuts. You're around grown-ass adults and they expect you to fucking swing off a fucking branch by your teeth. Like, I don't know. They just expect too much from you. They expect you to entertain them, and it just wastes your time. At the end of the day, you gave them laughs, you did things for them, but it just wasted your time. I'm not looking to have my time wasted. I'm not looking to be around people like that. I'm looking to be around people who want to keep rowing the canoe.
Okay, you guys get the idea. So I asked these questions on Twitter. If you're someone that doesn't have a lot of friends, what is the reason for it? Why did your friendship end? And eventually, guys, we're going to do a call-in where you guys can tell me your stories. But I want to first... Okay, so the reasons that people said were, one, people feel like they're different than the people around them. Many of the men that said they don't have a lot of friends have felt that they are just not interested in the same things that everyone else is interested in from a young age. Some cite that it's video games, some cite that it's maybe a nerdy type of things, but there is a general feeling that they do not fit in with the people around them. Now, when I was reading through comments on different videos and I don't know, just different things people were saying, some people do think that something is wrong with them personally, where they push people away for some reason. Like I think one comment I read was, something's probably wrong with me, but I'm 71 alone and I'm happy. Now, the next thing people would say for their reasoning why they don't have friends is I never spoke with them about anything of substance. Number 3, some seem to feel as though they are morally superior or just better than the people around them. So there's a general feeling that maybe their friends were doing drugs and they didn't want to go down that path. Maybe their friends weren't working as hard as them and they didn't want to go down that path. A lot of people that seem to not have friends have a tendency to think that their old friends were losers. Okay, I'm just telling you what people were saying. They would say it's better to be alone than in bad company. Social anxiety. My girlfriend or wife is possessive and does not want to share. 7, I only put energy into people who put energy into me, and I ended up alone. My personal reasons are that I was more interested in other things and probably more interested in those things to pay attention to friendships. I can't get through small talk. I don't do small talk. I honestly don't even wish to talk to people at all, even about the things I care about. Most women gossip and tend to bond over that. It's just very shallow. It takes up too much time and energy, and also people have no concept of planning anything these days. I don't have any close friends, but only a couple who would do anything for me as I would for them. Okay, guys. So I want to know in the chat, what are your reasons if you don't have a lot of friends? What are your reasons for not having them? Now, I'm going to read the Audacity Network members chat, which you go to the audacitynetwork.com. $10 a month, $80 a year. And I read your chat. So Richard says, if there was a big war, everything would reset. I don't watch TV or follow sports or drink, so it's tough. Curveballs, your best friend can become your worst enemy. I have become a rejection sensitive because of passive aggressive bullies and manipulative meddlers. Sounds like he is a good at pattern recognition. Dane, I signed in late, but this guy sounds weak and feminine. If he were a woman, the words wouldn't change. Same basic whine. It's all feelings and how mean everyone is to him, and it's always from the perspective that he's the prize. Jacob, the guy is right. Friends are only in your life for a reason or a season. Rarely are they around forever. Dane, if this whining and bitching is an example of how his normal behavior is, then there's no wonder he doesn't have grudges. He's not entitled to friends long-term or otherwise. Okay. That's what the people in the chat are saying. Okay, I'm going to show you guys one more video and I'm going to fix one more thing. This is from a Nigerian woman who's 41.
I'm 41 years old and I have no
and has no friends. I'm going to show you.
Friends and no social. I'm 41 years old and I have no friends and no social life. Some days I feel sad about this, and some days I have come to terms with this fact. But this video is not about bashing anyone. To be honest, I'm not completely selfish or narcissistic enough to think that it's always everybody else's fault. I know that I have a role as well to play in this. But let me go a bit deeper into why I think I have no friends. So I'm going to talk a bit about my childhood. I grew up in a broken family. My parents broke up when I was, I think, about 4 years old. And this was the beginning of, everything in terms of having detachment issues. or attachment issues as well, for that matter. So what that meant for me was that I was juggled around like a ball, basically between my mom and my dad, and I moved around quite a lot. So I moved states 3 times. By the way, I'm from Nigeria, and Nigeria is a federation, so we have states. So I moved states 3 times, and the fact that in Nigeria we've got over 100 languages means that every time I moved state, I was moving to a place that had a completely different language. Although everyone speaks English, but the language was different, the culture was different, the food was different, school, of course, was different. So I had to like reorientate myself all over again. So I attended 2 nursery schools, 3 primary schools, 2 secondary schools, and 1 university. Thank goodness. But each time I had to move, I had to say goodbye to my friends. So we're talking about a time before the internet, right? A time before mobile phones as we know it today, before Facebook and Instagram. So once you left, that was it. It was goodbye. And so I learned to be by myself, and I learned to be my own friend and be my own company. I was really lucky though, because then I discovered books, and so I was able to escape from the world, basically. But I think that also built a warped version of life in my head, because I was reading lots of, feel good books, fiction, like romance, the Mills and Boons. I don't know if you're of that generation. We had Mills and Boons. I believe it still exists today, but anyway, I digress. So this really affected me growing up. In terms of keeping in touch with friends, I didn't have any close friends. As soon as I was close enough to people, it was like time to move. Now, I don't completely blame my parents, because I know that they were going through. I mean, now I know. Even then, I think I have always been a kind of intuitive person. I knew that they were going through physical, mental, financial issues, and so I didn't really blame them. Of course, I didn't understand what was going on back then. But let's fast forward to high school. So in high school, secondary school, we call it in Nigeria. In my final 3 years, I made very good friends. We were so close. We were tight. We used to go to each other's homes. I thought finally I belong, But then we went off to university. We had different lives, different directions, and we lost touch. So what that meant for me was that every time I would meet someone, okay, it's either of 2 things. So it's either I would guard myself against, letting them in, or I would completely open up and risk getting hurt, and it hurts. It really, really hurts when you have no one really that you can just talk to. It hurts deep, 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 deep. I'm a strong person. I was a strong child. I have a brother, but he's 5 years older than I am. So that means that, he's a boy, plus he's 5 years older than me. So we never really were that close. We had different interests. I was very bookish, and he was more artistic. He is more artistic. He's still artistic. And I'm more of a bookworm. So we didn't have that much of a tight relationship. We love each other, but that tight relationship we didn't have. So let's move to
So when I hear her reasons, the man seems exhausted. He seems like he has no friends because he is exhausted from what comes with friendship. Where the woman seems like she has just checked out of life a little bit. I chose my books over friends. I moved. I wasn't that close with my brother. You guys can tell me if you think anything different, but we're going to keep going.
University days. So in my university days, I did make friends, but then they weren't like a major priority in my life. If I saw them, I saw them. If I didn't really care, because by then I had grown to just love myself and just be by myself. And, I was always fine by myself. I still am fine by myself. But then when I started having relationships, romantic relationships, I would expect my boyfriend to be my friend, but it's not the same. However, when I met my boyfriend, who is now my husband now, things changed a lot. He became my everything, my best friend, my confidant, everything. And so I didn't feel the need to have other friends. But now that I'm in my 40s, I've started thinking about it a little bit deeper. I have problems keeping in touch with people. I have problems carrying a relationship, a friendship, beyond just, hey, hi, and just hang out and just have a chit chat here and there and just move on. I've tried. So my boyfriend and I, my husband now, and I, we moved to Malta from Nigeria because my boyfriend at the time was transferred here for work. And so we've been living in Malta for 10 years now. At the start, we met a group of friends, a group of people, and we hung out together. And I thought, yes, finally, people that I can invite home. I can go to their place and ladies that I can really have a good chat with and stuff like that. But then slowly, members of the group started falling out with each other. And
Yeah. And that's really common with female friendships. The men, when I asked why their friendships ended, and I'm going to do a list later, the men, some of them hired their friend, some of them maybe lent their friend money. Some of them said their friend got into drugs, alcohol, or, maybe one of them just started working a lot and just wanted to be around people that were working a lot. The ladies' reasons for friendships ending was like stolen money, slept with my boyfriend, and Doug MPA even says that women can't stand each other. 70 to 80% of workplace bullying is women bullying other women, and 50% of women want to work for a male boss instead of a female boss. So this is, men, it just seems to be practical, where women, it tends to be, the claws come out. Okay, let me refresh on the website. Now, as most of you know, most of these ladies will find even if they burn every bridge around them, whatever, they'll always find a simp. And I have been on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you guys about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what it was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how base you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at CHOQ.com are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium herbs and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Go to Chalk. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name, Pearl, as your coupon code, and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name, Pearl, is the discount code. Okay, so next I want to check the chat. Brian says, people are very mobile these days, and many friends move to another state, and I have eventually lost touch with them. Dane says whether he's telling the truth or not is irrelevant. People can do sucky stuff. So what? Man up and build yourself into something. If this whining and bitching is an example, okay, whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about why friendships end. So I asked people on Twitter to give me examples of why friendships end. Now, I really love Twitter as a way to get personal stories because I find that people really just open up on that app. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe more anonymous than other sites. But people will tell you, you know, their deepest, darkest secrets or really open up about their life. Now, why friendships ended. I'm going to read common answers that I got. He or she stole from me. It's what I do. I have bipolar disorder, and every so often I lose control, turn evil, and drive the people closest to me away for various reasons unique to them and how I made them feel when they see the worst and ugliest parts of me. Most people don't ever get to see or have to see the worst part of who they are. It's traumatizing depending on who you are and hard to deal with regardless. One answer was slept with a girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, husband. Politics was one that was pretty common. That happened to me. 20 years of friendship. And I told this woman, I didn't tell this woman, this show made me lose a lot of friends. It's kind of sad. You know, the ladies support you until you're saying what's on your mind. Okay. One of the parties moved was really common. Drugs or alcohol. Paid them for years and realized, many people paid for their friends for years and realized they weren't putting in as much effort. One became more successful than the other. So what's interesting now is the average number of friends seems to be between 1 and 4 close friends. Men report having less friendships, with 15% of men reporting having no close friendships at all. Now, I think there's a couple reasons for this, just anecdotally speaking. One is the majority of close friendships come from childhood. And if you don't develop them in childhood, I think you're at a disadvantage for the rest of your life. And now it's much more common for people to move. And, as someone, I grew up in the same place my entire life. We moved into this house when I was in 3rd grade. I didn't go far. And when I moved to London for 3 years and then I moved to Milwaukee for 2 years, it was very difficult for me to maintain friendships moving to a different country in a different city. One was because there's less incentive to stay in touch when you know you won't see them for 6 months or a year. And I think that's definitely one reason, is people moving around more than they are. The other thing is, I think that people get their social battery met through media. And I can even say this personally. Like, if I do a show and I'm about to interact with you guys for like 2 hours, let's say we do this show and you guys call in, we have some great chats. I'm not complaining, I'm just describing. Am I going to go want to have a long conversation after this? No, I'll just put on my Netflix, go to bed, and do the same thing tomorrow. And this, I think, was exacerbated during COVID. During COVID, we saw an increase in online dating. That's where people are meeting their partners nowadays, or their boyfriend, girlfriend. And according to recent data, most communication is now online. And if I'm being truly honest with myself, a lot of my friends in the past 5 years I have met through the internet. And personally, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It just is the way the world is going. According to recent data, a significant portion of communication is now considered virtual, with estimates suggesting that around 65% of communication happens digitally rather than in person across generations, particularly among younger demographics like millennials and Gen Z. This number is even higher in countries like the US and the UK, reaching around 73% to 74% in digital communication. When surveyed on my Twitter, take that or leave it, 25% of people believe that online friendships are real friendships. Okay. Gen Z and millennials now are more likely to communicate with each other digitally than in person. The phone is the new wallet. 61% of global consumers from 18 to 34 would choose to leave their wallet at home instead of their phone. The digital is the new in real life. Globally, a majority of Gen Z and millennials, 65%, communicate with each other more often digitally than in person. The phone is truly an extension of the self. 70% of Gen Z and millennials across the globe sleep with their phones within arm's reach, and 65% bring their phones into the bathrooms with them. The future is 100% digital. A majority of Gen Z and millennials around the world, 70%, can imagine a future where 100% of purchases are done digitally and online. Live Person commissioned the survey of more than 4,000 18 to 34-year-olds across the UK, US, Germany, Australia, Japan, and France, plus an additional 1,000 adults 35 years or older in the US as a benchmark. The goal was to better understand the digital habits and preferences of young consumers around the world. According to research, Gen Z and millennials communicate with each other more digitally than in person, 65%. This percentage is even higher in English-speaking countries, with the US at 73% and the UK at 74%, relying more heavily on digital channels for communication. Digging deeper, this preference for digital communications is specifically targeted at messaging. When asked if they could only keep either the phone app or messaging on their smartphone, the majority of respondents said they would choose the messaging app. The percentage is also higher in the US, with 73% and the UK 73%. For those two generations, the smartphone has truly become an extension of the hands. According to surveys, 70% of respondents sleep with their phones within arm's reach, and 64% bring their phones to the bathroom. 52% check their phone if they wake up briefly in the middle of the night, with the younger consumers being attached to their phones. It isn't surprising that many of them place less importance on traditional societal norms than older generations. 41% consider it acceptable to text a family at dinner, and 27% thinks it's acceptable to text in the middle of an in-person conversation. With a constant digital connection at their fingertips, younger consumers expect a higher threshold of digital convenience when seeking from a brand. When asked to rank how they typically get a question answered from a brand, going to an app or website was the number one choice on average across the globe. Okay, so now we have a digital revolution. Now, my personal experience with media is it's really been around for most of my life, and I don't really remember life without it. I remember getting my first smartphone when I was 12 years old. And I remember specifically that was the first time I ever felt left out of anything. So when I was 12, I had no idea if people hung out and I wasn't invited. I didn't know. And I remember being 11, 12 years old, and you get your first smartphone, and that's the first time you compare your life to others. And I specifically remember there being get-togethers that I didn't know, people were having. And from a female point of view, that's sort of how cliques happen, and there's the in-clique, the out-clique. And before then, I had 2 friends and I was happy with that. But I remember that entire friend group when I was 12 fell apart after we all got smartphones. I don't know what happened. I just know it fell apart. This was 15 years ago. And so that was my first experience with social media, was Facebook. But most of my adult life, everything's been pretty digital. I can't even imagine the people 5 years younger than me, because I at least have a little bit of memory, but I don't remember much. So I asked people about the benefits of parasocial relationships rather than in person. So one is you get to find people that have the same interests. Now, this is something that's been great for me. I'm such a unique, who listens to Red Pill content. Who finds this stuff? You know, I think I found like the 2 women in the world that watch this stuff. And it's been great because you do get to find people with the same interests. The other pro benefits of parasocial relationships. Actually, I'm going to go back to number 1. The other thing that people were saying, if they play a unique video game, if they like, you know, it allows men to also have male-only spaces because you can't really ban the ladies from the bars. You can't really ban the ladies from school. And so women, we have female-only spaces. We go to the nail salon, it's mostly women. You go to school, it's mostly women. If you get a gender studies degree, mostly women. And I do think there are negatives to parasocial relationships, but I'm going to play devil's advocate for the day. All right. I'm going to give the positives. When someone's annoying you, you can simply log off. You guys in the chat, I mean, I'm sure some of you have been watching this stream and you're like, I'm sick of listening to this woman talk. Click, I'm gone. I'm gone. You can't do that in real life. You ever been in front of somebody? This happened to me the other day. You know, I love you guys. You know, I don't want to ever discourage you guys. If you see me in person, you can totally say hi to me, take a picture. But I don't want to be there all night. I don't. I really don't. I talk about these topics for hours a day, like 2-3 hour shows. I do not want to leave here and talk about it more. I've given my opinion. I leave sometimes. I don't want to give any opinions. I want to know what's going on in your life. And sometimes I meet you guys in the wild and you're like, I want to hear how you got to your ideas. And I'm just like, go to my book sorry, I don't have a book. Go to my channel. There's hours. There's literally hours of me talking for 3 years straight. But it's really rude for me to say, go away, please. The other day I was at this place and this guy comes up to me and I was at Soho House. You guys know maybe I shouldn't say the places I go, but I've been debating if I'm going to keep the membership or not. So I was there the other day. And this guy comes up to me and he's just asking me about all these topics. Like, oh, I want to know how you got to these opinions and da-da-da-da-da. I can make a show on that. I'll say, noted. Let's make this a show. I don't even mind, answering a question or two. But when it's been 45 minutes, you're going to make me leave the place. I'm going to leave because I don't. But that's the benefit of a parasocial relationship. You can if you guys get annoyed in my chat, click. The other benefit of a parasocial relationship is you could say everything you want to say. In real life, day to day. And I think this is a problem with Gen Z and millennials is we talk a lot of ish. We talk a lot of shit. And it's because we can do it through the smartphone and the cameras, where in real life, like 10 years ago, you would get your ass beat. I don't know what that's like. Nobody was really fighting in my high school. But I think the major downside of online friends and parasocial relationships is you just will not get that deep connection that people used to have where you love them despite their flaws. Because, quite frankly, if my parasocial friend is annoying me, click. Where in real life, you can't really do that. And I think it contributes to people, the ladies, expecting, but not all, expecting a perfect person, right? Or even maybe this guy is expecting perfection. I don't know. But it's because parasocially, you can just, whenever someone's annoying you, click. The other downside is you're never really going to know people's flaws on the internet. I mean, you do see it at times, like Lauren Southern banging Destiny, that came out. That's a major flaw. I mean, there's some people caught in Ponzi schemes, whatever, but it's more the little things that like your family knows about you. Maybe that person's weird or cold or annoying, but you love them despite. You just will never get that in a parasocial relationship. Pearl, the dude was hitting on you. Okay, but I wasn't interested. I mean, it was super clear. You know, if you say to me, Pearl, I want to talk about your podcast. And I say, you know, there's links online. What is that? You know, I think there's an increase in like autism. You know, and I'm not even saying I'm the most socially charming person in the world, but sometimes the cues, you know, anyways. All right. Now, what I want to hear from you guys, I'd love to get your opinions. I want to hear what your experience is with friends. So I want to give you guys the option to go cameraless because this is a personal topic. But if you abuse this and start trolling, I will never do it again. It will be the last time. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. And if you guys are good, I might regret this, but I want to know if you have friends. Sorry, let me rephrase this. I want to hear from the people with no friends, and I want to know why they chose that life. And if you do have friends, but you had a friendship end, I want to know what caused the friendship to end. They said Pearl is just complaining about simps approaching her. No. I am complaining about, you know what? I can complain. Thank you. I will complain. I am complaining about being asked about these topics for 45 minutes straight. Look, sometimes I'm tired, guys. Look. Oh, Lord. Okay, let me get the link. I'm going to put this in the chat. Look, I didn't even think he was a simp. It was just look, guys, I don't mind, as I've said, I don't mind if it's like a one question or whatever. I mind when that's all you're asking me about, you know. Anyways, I'm going to continue. You know, the people that want to misunderstand are going to misunderstand. I don't care. Misunderstand. Criticize. I don't care. I'm to that point in my life. Also, guys, please, 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 please go to theaudacitynetwork.com. I do read the chats there. And you're going to get first access to my documentary. He said, I'm autistic, and that guy seemed autistic too. He might have been. And I try to be nice, but just at some point I'm like, criticize. Oh my, is this the to that point in my life? I'm hearing an echo. I don't know what the please. Do I need to mute something? Go to the network.com. I do read the chats there. Oh my God. And you're gonna get first access to my hold on, guys. I can't see the people. Hold on, guys. Today we're producerless, so it's just me, and I made a message for tech support. I will tell you guys the story of my 12-year-old self ending the friendship. You know, sometimes I need to give you guys personal stories. You guys have watched me long enough, you know, but sometimes I get a little nervous to tell L's because I don't want these these channels take my L's and just are like, use them as a weapon against me forever. But I was 12, so I think I'm over it now. I think I can tell this L. So when I was 12, I had two best friends, two BFFs. We were the greatest of pals, right? And what happened was I found out we would have sleepovers and it was like the three of us. We even used a Ouija board once. I know that was bad. We probably shouldn't have. We were like 12 and we just did like the typical kids stuff. And what happened was these ladies, I found out they hated me. And I was like, what? I thought we were pals. And apparently they were trashing me to the whole class. And randomly one day, I don't know what I did to this day. Randomly one day, they just quit hanging out with me forever. But it actually was the best thing that happened to me ever. And my mom told me that she thought they were so weird. And she was like, it was the greatest day of my life. Well, she probably didn't say the greatest day of my life, but she said I was so happy when that friendship ended because they were so weird and they kind of went into the goth kid, like the goth group. And she just said, I did not want you going down that path. I know I did. I got ghosted by the two. Who knows, to this day, they didn't, but it was funny because I caught them, right? So when I was like 12, I caught them, talking about me. And this is when the texts were coming out. And so my other friend came in who I had but I wasn't as close with this third friend. And she came in and said, yep, they're talking about you. And I was like, oh my gosh. They said they hate me. And so I remember they felt so guilty when I was just like, well, I guess we're not friends anymore. Then they wanted me back. Now 12-year-old Pearl was like, you guys didn't want me. I would have been a goth kid. Yeah, and I was like, 12-year-old Pearl was like, well, I never would have did that to you, but I guess if that's how you feel. And I didn't chase them. I think they wanted me to chase them. And I said, no, good luck. And now, I don't know what they're doing. But to this day, what's funny? I messaged one of them like 10 years later. I just wanted to know if they were moving the Ouija board or if it worked, because that was definitely something we did. And maybe Pearl flirted with their boyfriends. I was 12. Nobody had boyfriends. We were definitely alone. By ourselves. Lonely. We had like 25 people in our whole class. Like it was a very small school. So let me see if they're getting I can't. All right. I don't know if there's a Zoom, but I can like hear something, but I can't see anything. So they said goth Pearl over Pearl and Blue. Did those girls have their fathers around? No, they didn't actually. Now that I think about it, one did, but their parents would fight all the time. So I think they were going to divorce. And the other one, the other one was a stepdad. And the mother told everyone that the dad was abusive. We all know how that goes. Was he? Was he? I mean, let me see. Okay. They say the live stream's ready. So let me see if we're going to pull it up. Otherwise, I'm going to have to tell you guys another story of ended friendships. Oh no. All right. Praise the Lord. Right. Okay. Hello, sir. What is that a Donald Trump? Is that a green screen?
Yes, this is my Trump puppet.
Oh, nice. So you can either say like a name or a script. Like, what should I call you?
On YouTube, I'm Trump X.
Okay, Trump X. So are you calling up as someone that doesn't have friends, or are you calling in as someone that had a friendship end?
Well, someone who doesn't have friends currently.
Okay. So how old are you?
55, about to turn 56 next month.
Okay. And so how long has it been since you had friends? Like when did this start? Was this always like how you went through life?
Well, it kind of started with mm, a false accusation of touching a non-existent tit, like in 2001.
No way.
Then a very malicious prosecution. Yeah,
Wow, I did not think of that answer actually. So you were
agoraphobia set in.
What's agoraphobia? I don't know what that is. I'm just looking that up. Agoraphobia.
Not wanting to leave the house.
Oh, so who can you tell me like who accused you? Was it like an ex-wife or something?
No, it was a neighbor. Crazy crack whore.
Okay, and she accused you of touching a kid that didn't exist?
No, not a kid. She had a kid.
Mhm.
Um, it was a weird situation. This guy was a truck driver. He got rid of his wife, brought back his ex.
Mhm.
He had 2 boys from the ex. I guess that's why he brought her back. But the oldest boy was trying to mess with the sister. He had the same first name as me. I think the girl tried to tell her mom. She went off. Next thing you know, I'm arrested and charged. No questions asked, no explanations given.
And did you go to court? Like did they find you guilty of it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
No. I went to court twice.
Mhm.
The first jury hung because somebody lied on their voir dire.
Say that again?
The voir dire questionnaire they give you before a trial when
Mhm.
you're a jury member.
Mhm.
Somebody lied and just got in the jury room and said, I'm always going to say guilty because I was a victim of whatever.
Got it. And so that went on your record.
Anyway, no,
Oh,
actually, it did not because
okay.
I was
Go ahead.
found innocent.
Oh, you were
The second trial
Okay, go ahead.
was like a week later because the first jury hung. And I was actually angry the second time. And I ended up being like, well, if the cops or the prosecutor, anybody had done their job, then they would have found out the first thing I ever did in my young life was become a military police officer, and I'd never do anything like this.
Mhm.
So I was acquitted. But the system didn't work anything like I'd been taught when I became an MP.
Mm.
And it was like a total malicious prosecution. They had brought a prosecutor up from the county attorney's office and they're like, here, it's a crap case. See what you can do with it. And she tried every dirty trick in the book to try and get me thrown into prison for like 26 years, no parole. That blew my mind. I know today, like government being corrupt, oh my God,
Mm.
you know, color me shocked, right?
Mm.
But back then, as somebody who was like a naive child of the 70s,
Mm.
it blew my mind and left me like at the beginning, I would spend like 8 hours a day in the bathroom paranoid because like if they're gonna come and get me again, they gotta at least give me a few minutes to get up, right?
Mhm.
Apparently, like nowadays, no, probably not.
And so that
So I
was
don't have any friends really.
20 years ago. So you were in your you said 50s. So you were in your 30s when that happened?
Yeah.
And so did everyone you know essentially just stop talking to you? Like did this get out to everyone in your social
No.
circles in the neighborhood?
It was like I lived in a different state than I grew up in,
Mhm.
and I had other family issues pop up at the same time that required me to go back to the home state. So I left right afterwards.
Got it. So, what made you is it like a fear? Like if you're friends with anyone else, they might accuse you of something? Because
No.
I'm just curious, like what made you stop making friends in the future? Or you were just
Well,
too
today,
Sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
where I'm at today is I'm well healed. I'm well over it.
Mhm.
I can go grocery shopping and stuff. Not a problem. But since I'm over it now, uh, actually, since I'm on YouTube right now, I just want to give a shout out to JD Delay. It was him. He made me realize what happened.
Mhm.
The cops didn't do their job because they knew I didn't do it. And so they gave the prosecution nothing to work with. It is what it is. But it took me a long time to get to that point of realizing that. But
So the
anyway,
the cops didn't do their job, so they gave the prosecution nothing to work with?
yeah, like the night I was arrested, I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, let me talk to somebody, etc.
Mhm.
I'd like to talk to a investigator, a detective, whatever.
Mhm.
They were like, oh, I'm sure you get to talk to one later. No, the cop that arrested me just sent me on to county with charges at like 2 a.m. in the morning that night. But they never did like a real investigation. These people lived like at the other end of my building. So like, why wasn't there like restraining order that made me move or something? Never was. The state that I was in at the time, which shall remain nameless, uh, put me on the like sex offender list 6 months before my trial.
Holy
And
crap.
I had to like threaten them to get me taken off. I mean, like it was bad all the way around.
Mm.
This was like 2002. And so, I mean, yeah, I totally lost trust in government and I was paranoid of coming out of the house.
Oh. Oh, so you would so would you not, like, go grocery shopping? Like, how paranoid were you at the time?
Well, like I said, like my kid had a Christmas play.
Mhm.
I tried to go uh, the year I was acquitted. And I was cool at first, but it was just like, it was a small mountain town, but even like 100 people or less, it was just too many people. And I had to like go outside and wait. Stuff like that. Panic attacks, especially if I saw a cop.
And when it was 100 people, you would get afraid they would accuse you of something or call the
No,
cops? Like,
no,
what
no,
was
no,
the
no.
I'm
It would
just
just
trying to
be like
understand
a
the fear.
anxiety issue
Oh,
would kick
okay.
in, attack around large crowds of people.
Okay. And you never had that before the false accusation, that was just after
No,
that
I was
st
a social butterfly.
Wow, so this completely, like, changed your personality almost.
Well, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Kind of, but not really. I mean, there was a part of me on the deep inside that was like blocked off from the rest of it. And after that, I didn't use my first name anymore.
Mhm.
I I go by Will. It's an abbreviation of my middle name. It fits better after what I've been through.
And so what's life like for you now with no friends? You mentioned you have a son, are you married?
No. Um I I I really don't have a family to speak of. I'm estranged from him. His
Mhm.
mother, I don't even really want to go into it.
Okay, that's fine, you don't have to.
That's like a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But nowadays, what I do is I have two work from home jobs. I work during the day for a supplemental medical review contractor. When Medicare wants to take money back from doctors, I'm the guy they call for help.
Mhm.
And at night, I do like telephone surveys. I work from home. I'm good. Uh, and the way society is today, I'm just pretty much good chilling around the house. I can go out and socialize if I want, but why do I want to spend the money?
And do you ever like are you happy this way? Like do you miss being super social or are you just happier inside? Like do you wish it was different? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Well, yes and no. What I've discovered across this journey is God doesn't always give you what you want, but He always gives you what you need, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Because right now, I force myself to sit down and like learn the law because I figured if anybody was ever going to screw with me again, I wanted to be able to screw them right back.
Mhm.
And so now, like, well, if you want to know the honest God's truth that not even Trump wants to talk about, I'm a state citizen. Um, you have the right to do that under Article 3 of the Constitution, not the amendments. Um, and, well, to be honest with you, state citizens aren't anybody that Congress presumes to contract with. I'm not a sovereign citizen. God, I hate it if people call me that. If you call me that, you probably get called the name back.
Mhm.
But there's lots of case law covers all that. Anyway, yeah, I know what I need to know. I'm happy. I've got my life. I'm paying my bills. I'm saving money. I got
Mhm.
401k. I'm good.
Got it. And so how long do you go without leaving the house? Would you say? Like how many times in a week do you leave?
Well, I live in a 350 person town about 50 miles from anywhere, Montana.
Okay.
So not a lot. I 1 to 3 times a week.
Got it. Okay. Well, thank you very much for calling in and telling your story. I'm sorry to hear about the false accusation. That's really too bad.
Yeah, it sucked. And I jumped on because it's the kind of thing you talk about.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I think we're going to go to the next person.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Let's see. They said, all right, I'm going to read the chats in between. So they're going to. Trump puppet guy's problem isn't false accusations or the agoraphobia. His voice and sense of victimhood is alienating to other men. Look, I'm not really here to I just want to explain to you guys. I'm not here to diagnose anybody. I'm not even here to shit on them or say, you should be more social, da 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 da. This is happening. There's tons of men that have no friends. I want to know why from their perspective. You guys can, judge whatever. Dane says Trump puppet is very feminized. Brian says, thank God you escaped the goths. Dane, no one likes to be rejected, but at 53 years old, I can't remember ever having the thought I want to make a friend or I want to be that person's friend. I just live and let the chips fall. Yeah, I think that's a better way to live. W Pearl for care. Well, guys, okay. I just want to know what's going on. Like this is I always try to come at the perspective on my show. I'm describing what's going on. I get the information from you guys. Okay, let's do like one or two more. If you guys want to bring on the next person. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna switching between people on Zoom will take a second. I was told that he's trolling. Look it. Maybe he is trolling. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a story while we wait for the next person. So this woman scares me a little bit. I don't like talking about her because she went on to say false things about me for a long time after. I never gave my point of the story. But we got the next guy coming on. You got maybe in between next time, guys. Okay. Hello, welcome to the show. What can I call you?
Gabe is fine.
Hi, Gabe. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
So are you calling as someone that has no friends or that was that had a friend like an ex-friend for some reason?
So it's kind of a bit of both, but it's more of like, um, how would you say, me opening up a little bit about my experience, being a red pill consumer, as I would say.
Mhm. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, well, as you could see my background, where I am originally from, they don't teach men how to be men or whatnot. Typical raised in a single parent home. Rest in peace to my late mother who passed away about a year ago. But my story is a little bit similar to the last individual in a way, just a little bit though, because I am currently a student, and I have to hear like people yap and yap and yap about how much they hate men and all that
How
good
old how
stuff.
old are
And
you?
so I am actually going to be turning 36 this next February.
Okay, and you're a student in what? Like what's the
History.
Okay, that makes sense. A lot of history majors are women.
So I have to take a lot of, I have to, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have to take a lot of gender studies courses and have to hear modern women denounce, like, traditional like stuff like motherhood, which I kind of felt was a slap in my face this last semester. And just talking crap about, say, people like you or the manosphere,
Mhm.
Andrew Tate in general. But to kind of self-reflect on myself, I kind of feel like I call myself a recovering simp, because that's kind of like how I was taught to be. Was kind of like, how would you say, like, I'm throwing myself under the bus when I'm admitting all of these flaws I have. But being, the quote unquote nice guy or nerd throughout like my life when it comes to social issues. I also have autism, which exacerbates a lot of this, and overcoming basically a lot of like me basically like not knowing or understanding other people. Like, does that make sense at all?
What do you mean by nice guy? Do you mean you were in the friend zone with women? Were you, I don't know, OnlyFans? Like, are you like, what do you mean by like
The
simp, nice
first part,
guy?
the first part, I would never lower myself to like subbing to OnlyFans ever. I'm too stingy when it comes to money. I've
Okay.
never been the kind of simp that'll like give a girl like a flower, or whatever, like that kind of like
Hmm.
nice guy. But always thinking like, oh, I need to like, be like, say, smiley, or like, say, like, if I'm talking to a girl or whatever, and like, oh, you're feeling sad, do you want to talk about it, type of thing. Like, does that give a little bit
Yeah.
more clarification?
So did you have like a woman you were friends with for a long time and you thought maybe it would go somewhere at some point, or is it just in day-to-day conversation?
It's a bit of both, I would say, but it's more of like constantly like I think, being looked at as, oh, like he's just too nice or whatever, or clearly, I mean, not maybe say looking at like, attractive enough or anything like that, like, or, he's just not like a bad boy or whatever type of thing. Like, I apologize if a lot of what I'm saying or stumbling on my words. That's just a common problem with guys with autism and all that. But I mean, basically, I've had to look at myself in the mirror recently where I've told myself like a lot of common problems that simps and nice guys have is that they tend to think that if they like try to play like free therapist to a girl, oh, that's gonna make them attractive to them. Like you see in those crappy, chick flick movies, like, oh, the guy says, oh, to the girl, oh, I'm so sorry your boyfriend that's a bad guy hangs out with the homeboys all night in the bar and cheats on you. He doesn't buy you roses, flowers for Valentine's Day. Oh, I'll be your
Mhm.
friend or whatever, hoping that he'll like
And are
get
you
with her. That's kind of a
mm,
toxic mindset that I was
mhm.
thinking for a long time.
And is this a problem you're looking to solve, or are you more looking, or would you say you've given up? Like, if you is this something you're looking to fix and you're more hopeful for the future, or do you just think it's not worth it? I'm gonna do my own thing.
If we were having this conversation a few years ago, I probably would have felt hopeless and probably told myself I wanted to give up.
Mhm.
But I kind of feel like with my own self awareness, I kind of feel like while I don't have the solution necessarily right now, I kind of get a feeling that I want to be more optimistic. It's just a matter of I think I'm going to have to keep working on myself and my flaws before I get to a certain point. I do feel, though, however, that while I've made a lot of mistakes when it comes to a lot of girls I like meet on a day-to-day basis, I will say a good first step that I've done that I feel helps me feel hopeful is I gave up on dating apps.
Mhm.
I pretty much told myself, you know what? I wasted 14 years of my life being addicted to them, especially in my early 20s when I was being a lazy bum and whatnot. I mean, when I say bum, I don't mean homeless. I mean, like, living at home, not doing nothing and whatnot, not going to school, not doing anything with my life. I pretty much try to talk to people in person
Mhm.
and whatnot. And while I do have like some flaws and like failed friendships or relationships or situationships, more or less, I kind of feel a little bit more hopeful that recently I feel like I've tried to self develop like, confidence to try to like improve like any social skills that I have.
Mhm.
Like, I'm being very vague when I
Yeah.
describe this like situation. Yeah.
What makes you not tackle the weight problem? I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just curious because I think that wouldn't you think that would help you the most?
I think it is possible. I that does it is a little embarrassing to be asked that, but um I think it's a matter of, I just would need to work on that, but I'm sure the chat's probably saying whatever they, are saying,
Mhm.
positive or negative. But
Well, it's not you're in
I
America.
really don't have a good
Yeah.
answer. I'm
You're in
sorry, what
America.
was that?
I'm saying you're in America, you don't have to be embarrassed. It's like most people. But it's just, sometimes I hear that and I just wonder, like, that seems like it would be the most helpful to those problems, you know? But you're in America, it's not abnormal here, you know?
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't have a good answer to that. honestly. I think, I would be sitting here all day, every day, probably making a million and one. Like, yeah,
I
I
get
don't
it.
know.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
it's
think I can
hard.
get answers to
It's really
that.
it's really hard. Like if it wasn't, more people would do it, you know.
Yeah.
The
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm not the only person that's going through like these problems, more or less. I mean,
mhm.
you know, but yeah, I don't know if I have a proper response for that, but
That's okay.
I
How
mean, yeah, I mean, at least, I do appreciate the honesty with pointing that out, though.
well, well, it's just like the way I think maybe is a little bit autistic too, where it's like I just keep thinking of like solutions maybe. There's stuff that would help. And I'm like, you're not a bad looking guy, so I'm like if you just lost weight, I think you like it would help a lot.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's a matter of, again, just trying to continue whatever journey I was mentioning about
Mhm.
self awareness and working on things. It's just a matter of finding out what those solutions are. I mean, I know one thing's for sure is that I've been through like a million and one things, but it's like I've like told myself, you know what? I just don't want to give up, even though I feel like doing so. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. I didn't mean to offend you. I'm sorry if
Yeah.
I did.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, neither one of us are like, I mean, I know you've mentioned before that, you were an athlete, so I don't take it personal, I mean,
Yeah.
or anything like that, but I think, neither one of us are, doctors, so a doctor, I think, would need to have that, serious conversation, but thank you for at least, taking this time out and whatnot, and yeah,
Well,
thank
thanks
you.
thanks for calling in, Gabe.
Yeah. Have a good day then.
You too. That weight can turn to muscle. That's what I didn't pay anybody to cam up, guys. I wasn't trying to be mean. um, that's what I was trying to say. Like, he didn't have a bad face. I'm like, I don't know if you get um you don't need to see a doctor to lose Look, I'm trying to be nice. I don't know. The He fell into the river. Look, what helped me personally, I'm going to tell you guys, I've lost weight in the last couple years. Now, mind you, there's better channels you can get this advice from. So please go somewhere else. But I'm going to tell you what's helped me. So when I couldn't lose weight and I could not figure out why, what I found is that I was drinking my calories. And I still I still do drink coffee, but what I did was you have to think of like a caramel latte as a dessert. And you have to think of like when I started putting carbs as the same category as dessert, meaning like you can't eat too much of them. I think it's like cutting carbs helps people lose weight because um you even carnivore, vegan, all that stuff, it seems like everybody loses weight when they cut carbs. Um, the other thing was I used to do extreme workouts. So I would work out. I probably burned like 3,500 calories a day. So I probably burned an extra 1,500. It was so time consuming and exhausting. And I realized I didn't want to work out that hard anymore. And I was like, you have to figure out your eating habits. If you want to like have kids and do the rest of you, you're not going to have time to work out like 3 hours a day. It's just not going to happen. And I just realized that You can't outwork a bad diet. Everyone that says you can't, that's bullshit. I've done marathons, that outworks a bad diet. I've played semi-pro volleyball, that outworks a bad diet. But it's a part-time job. And you can either be strict with your eating. And so what I try to do instead, if I don't want to work out super heavy, is just 7,000 steps, 10,000, whatever you're at, just double it. Anyways, so want to lose weight, stop eating pastry. Yeah. And this is the thing, like I went to Panera the other day and I try to increase my protein intake and decrease my carbs. And if you get a sandwich and you get the fries with it, it's like carb overload. You can still eat the sandwich. You just can't get the fries with it. Okay. So, genetics play a big role in your life. No, I don't believe that at all. I don't. I have a sister. She's thinner than me. I have a sister who's fatter than me. The thinner sister eats less. The fatter sister eats more. We all have the same genetics. Yeah. I mean, calories, look at, they have all these different ideas of like better foods, worse foods. And you know what? I'll tell you this. You will lose weight doing calories in, calories out. But the problem is, if you're low on protein, you will still be hungry. So I could eat 1,500 calories of straight carbs a day, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be starving. But if I eat 150 grams of protein a day, then I'm not as hungry. It is like you can do it with literal, like there's guys that have done it with Twinkies, but you are going to be so hungry. So the fatter sister posts a lot of restaurant meals. I mean, she just works out less and eats more. Like it's not, she's doing better. She's losing weight, but okay. I think we have another person coming up. Probably why carnivore is good. Oh, sorry. Panera doesn't have fries. Maybe it was somewhere else. No. Oh, you know what? It was Panera. They had the bread with it. It wasn't fries. You're okay. You know what? The people that understand what I'm saying get it. Okay. Let's just bring up the next person.
Hello.
Hi. I don't see you. I don't know if they're gonna. I hear you, but I don't see you.
I don't have my cam on. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. What should I call you?
You can call me Derek. It's close enough to my name. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. So are you calling
Oh,
us
swell.
are you calling us somebody that has no friends, or are you calling us somebody that had a friendship that fell out?
Well, I guess I'm a mix. I have had a few friendships that fell out, but recently the worst was my closest friend actually died. He died last May. We were going to go to that big Trump rally in the Bronx. We're from Jersey, but he got hit by a truck. He was only 32. I guess this story was particularly sad because our friendship was more so a friendship of convenience. Like, I didn't have many friends, and the friends I did have, it's just hard to see them. You know, when you're out of school, it's just harder to keep up with your people. They got lives and stuff, and it's just a chore meeting new people when you're out of school. It's like when you're in school, even if you're a nobody, it's easy to meet new people, new acquaintances, new people to date. But socializing just gets harder. It's not impossible if you find meetups and stuff, but it's a chore.
Hmm.
This friend I had, he was a washed up guy, bullied, schizophrenic, balding, fat. I might have been the closest friend he actually had. He was the only friend that would call me every day. And the way I found out he died was he went a full week without calling me, which is kind of sad. But I guess in my personal life, I know your topic was parasocial relationships.
Mhm.
Were you just referring more to men having parasocial relationships with influencers and fictional characters, or are you talking about people you know in your own life but don't really see that often?
Um, I did touch a little bit on parasocial relationships with influencers, but What I meant more is maybe online friends that you met online and have never met. So, like, I think for guys, a common one I've heard is video games. Like, you'll play online with someone for years and end up becoming really close. Like League of Legends. I don't know anything about video games, so I could be off, but I've
Well,
like League of
I have a
Legends.
PS2 collection, so I don't really play online with a lot of people. But I have noticed when like you're talking about politics or
Mhm.
niche topics, yeah, it's very easy to message someone. I mean, I don't really have a lot of parasocial relationships because most of the people I talk to online, I actually did meet them before,
Mm.
like at a class abroad or some old meetup. But then again, I have noticed with like cosplayers or people who follow the same interests, I haven't met them, but I will follow them. They'll follow me. We'll talk about stuff. It's usually a shared interest. So I see where you're going at.
Mhm.
I haven't been in that most extreme camp, but I've heard the horror stories about dudes simping, giving money, feeling like their best friend is someone they had never met. Like my friend who died, he told me his first girlfriend was from Ohio, and I'm like, "Have you ever been to Ohio?" He says, "No." Has your girlfriend ever come to Jersey to meet you? He said, "No." Like, so how the hell are you girlfriend and boyfriend? He's like, "Well, we were talking on MySpace." I'm like, I mean, my friend was a good friend, but he was a hardcore simp. Like, and again, a lot of that just comes from being lonely, being isolated. I mean, not every guy with parasocial relationships was as bad off as my friend, but it comes from people not seeing you as someone worth being friends with. And when you don't have many options, you take what you can get. I
Uh,
don't want to project on him, but that seems to be the case with a lot of people.
and with your friend, like, what was his job? Like, what did he do for a living?
Well, I don't want to say too much. He was a theater grad at Rutgers. I went to a school close by. That's how we met. He never worked in the film industry like he wanted. He just ended up working delivery driver jobs for the last 7 years. Like he would work 6 days a week, feed homeless people on Sunday. His parents were relatively well to do, but between his disability and I guess his stubbornness, he just didn't see a way to get a better paying job. So he would work these low tier delivery driving jobs.
And what would you say his problem was? Like, what did he put people off somehow? Was he really awkward? Like, was there a character
Well,
flaw,
that
or like what was the
I
challenge
don't
for
think it was
him?
I don't think it was a character flaw per se. It was I guess I would say a lack of selfishness because okay, if you
Oh,
met him, he was
interesting.
like kind of fat, balding, but because of his schizophrenia, he wouldn't shower. So if you met him, you might easily think he looked homeless because he frankly did. Like, I mean, if you took the time to get to know him, you think, oh, this is a good guy. He loves Jesus. He's a trad con. He loves Trump. But when you first meet someone like him, you're probably gonna think he's homeless.
Oh, and he had schizophrenia? So would he
I didn't know it at first, but he
mm,
told me as a I mean, he was one of the few people I had to hang out with. Like, I wasn't as bad off as him, but in a way, I was kind of a loser too. I was a fat guy. Even though I was tall and losing weight, I didn't really have a lot of friends. And I don't know, out of convenience, we hung out because he was also kind of my weed man at the time. But goodness,
How old are you?
oh goodness, I'm old. I just turned 30 last June, the dirty 30.
Oh, you're not that old. The last guy that like 2 callers ago was like
30 is
50.
the new 65. I know. I saw the last two guys.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay, so how many friends would you say you have now? Like, are you similar to him where you still don't have a lot of friends or
well, I guess I would say I have more acquaintances than like close best friends because like I have a certain group of guys who are also tall and Bible friends. Like I'm an atheist now, but I've still managed to keep up with them. But the thing is, it's not like Friends, the TV show, where Ross can go hang out with Joey and Chandler every day
Hmm.
and meet up with Rachel and Monica and Phoebe. It's like most of the time you're just texting a friend or you're texting an old buddy. It's like a rare thing you can go meet a friend.
And so, what are your social interactions like daily? Like, how often do you see people? Are you happy with it, or do you want it to change?
I'm not that happy with it. It's like it's rare to just link up with a friend, and it's uh, it's hard, honestly. I mean, it leaves a lot to be desired in life, my existence, because to be quite frankly, it does feel lonely sometimes. Like, I mean, I wish my dating life was better too, but sorry, that's my roommate in the background.
That's okay.
But I have to leave soon. I want to be mindful to the other guests, but I always wanted to say I appreciate what you do. Like, there's not a lot of women that genuinely at least take 5 minutes to listen to men's struggles. And I don't agree with you on everything, but I really appreciate you just taking the time to try to understand what men are going through.
Hmm. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for calling in. You should call into the show again, maybe give a progress update if things get like better for you. No. Have you ever
Well, it's my first time. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were going to
I
ask me
was I
something.
was curious if you tried like salsa, karaoke, like if you've tried any events like that. It was gonna be I know you have to
No, I
go, but that
have.
was kind of
I've gone to a bunch of meetups over the years. I've won Halloween contests. I've done
Mhm.
stand up comedy. Like
Oh, you've
I,
done stand-up
I
comedy?
guess I'm making myself sound too doomerish. Like I have met a lot of people. It's just you meet a lot of people, but I guess what I'm saying is more so quality over quantity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm not some doomer who won't go outside. It's like no, I'll go to meetups. I'll tell jokes. People will actually fucking listen. It's just I don't know. Like you haven't. I mean, it's like you're meeting people, but are they gonna turn into like your best pal, like your neighbor
Yeah.
next door? That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like meeting new people isn't that tough. It's just are they gonna turn into quality, and how do you know someone won't backstab you?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess I, I I guess I'll give you one story that's on my mind.
Mhm.
I had a female friend a few years ago. She was just leading me on. Long story short, but I guess it hurt because she actually reached out to me after my mother died, and okay, like I guess the thought of us becoming a couple kind of died, but I genuinely started to think maybe you actually care about me as a person. Maybe you actually want to be my friend, and that was kind of hurtful. I won't get into it, but it was kind of rough. And I'm not so doomerous to think, oh no, I can't meet other people or date other people I have. But it's like when you go through that stuff, it's hard to really trust certain people. I haven't given up on humanity, but it's like those things do come with their headaches.
Mhm.
But I gotta get going. I want to be mindful to the other guests. But thank you for having me. If I
Thanks.
can call in, I will call in again. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks for calling in. Um,
Bye bye.
bye. Okay. It ruined my life, man. We did it. Okay, I think that's the last caller we're gonna take for today. Um, yeah, but if anyone has an interesting story you think I missed, feel free to, DM it to me and tell me like what's interesting about it. If it's interesting enough, maybe we'll continue
Yo,
it into next show.
can't hear you.
I don't know who that is, but I'm sorry, we're ending the show now. But let me read the super chats before we go. Okay, so remember, guys, if you want your comment read on the show, make sure you go to theaudacitynetwork.com. $80 a year, $10 a month. and I will read your comments. On most channels, you got to pay every single month, every single comment to have it read. I just read it. Dane says, Trump's puppet guy's problem isn't false accusation. Oh, wait, I read that one already. My nutritionist taught me to eat less than 45 grams of carbs per meal. You know what? Maybe I'll try 45. I've been trying to cut it to 30, and I have had the hardest time. I taught my mind to reduce hunger pains by eating once per day. I could not do that. Oh, no. 45 carbs. What the F is that? Ask Jeeves. No link, Pearl. A friendship is like a romantic relationship. It requires work from both people. They said, F Pearl, let him speak. What do you... Guys, I can't take every single caller. I can't, okay, if you guys want me to take every single caller, I expect every one of you to go to my website and sign up for the yearly membership. You know what? How much funds do you guys think I have? I've been demonetized for over a year. I do the best. It's like, what? Do you think I just have hours? I might get a bartender, job. Anyways. All right, guys. They spam the chat to let them in. Next. Okay, you want me to let them in? I need 10 of you to go to my website now and get the yearly membership, and I'll do it. 10 yearly memberships, and I'll do it. Oh, wait. When I say put your money where your mouth is, then we're quiet. Then we're quiet, aren't we? Oh. Yeah, that's, oof. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, no, Pearl. We just want your time forever. You might as well just stream 24/7 and take every single caller. They said, this is me. I'm not against it, but do you guys want, what, I only have so much time for the show. We are making it happen, Pearl. Be patient. Are you? We're all demonetized. Yeah, I know. I'm going to do a timer right now. I'll do a timer for 5 minutes. You guys have 5 minutes because I understand it's a new website. You can download the app on your phone. I'll give you 5 minutes. And this timer is going right now. If at the end of the 5 minutes, we get enough signups, fine, I'll take another caller. Look, Pearl, do you really need to sleep? Yes. You can talk to that dude in 5 minutes. I could, but I'd rather you guys pay me for it. Pearl is hustling. Hell yeah, I'm hustling. And you know what? You get access to all my old content, and you're going to get access to my documentary. And at some point, they said, wait 30 minutes. No! I think I'm to the point. I do love you guys. I do. But this sass, I'm not taking this anymore. I'm really not. They said, Pearl, I'm a new listener. And you're already asking me for money? Yes. Let's see. I'm gonna refresh this. We're a minute in. No, we got 3.5 minutes. This is some Andrew Wilson level LARPing. Fine. No, I wouldn't get the 10 and dip. If you guys signed up, but you have 3 minutes left. I'll tell you a story in the meantime. What story do I want to tell? One of the worst. I think Shania Twain has one of the worst friendship stories I've ever heard. Shania Twain, she had a husband and he cheated with her best friend. What an L. You know, guys, and I always say I could forgive cheating. Like, everyone thinks I'm capping. Look, if you love the guy and he steps out one time with a stripper, I mean, get over it. Like, what, ladies, it's probably taking you forever to find a guy you like. You just gotta get over it. But if you cheat with a best friend, sister, mom, done, cooked, done, cooked. They said, let him cheat in peace. Women have a problem with cheating when it bruises their ego. Look, Donovan, I'm with it. But if you cheat with someone I know personally, sorry, Donovan, I can't. That's too far. That's too far for me. I mean, it's like you could cheat with all the women on the planet and you picked the 3 women I'm close. There's like 3 women in my life I'm close with that they said just don't allow her to find out and it's good. You're not, Donovan, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. If it's someone you know personally, now I'm not saying like an acquaintance you kind of know, right? But if you pick the sister, the mother, that's too far for me. That's too far. Oh, look at us. All right, we did get one. Oh, we got 2 annual memberships. I didn't think I'd get any from you guys. You know what? Oh, I'm not talking about cheating with someone she knows. Never do that. Only cheat with people she doesn't know. All right, guys. I'll tell them if we get 8 more, should I give you guys an extra 5 minutes? F it. An extra 5 minutes. I need 8 more. No. You guys are trying to bargain me down. You're trying to bargain me down. You're trying to say, I said, hey, 10. You guys gave me 2. 2. And now you're saying Pearl. Someone said Pearl is a 6 in look. Pearl, do it for 2. No, I said 10 and I stand on 10. Pearl is a 6 in looks and a 9.5 in personality. Rounds up to a 7.7. Solid gold. Stop simping. No woman's a 9.5 in personality. Not even me. Doesn't exist. Even the best women, a 9.5 doesn't exist. And I've met some really good women in my life. I really have. Everyone thinks I hate all women. I just hate annoying women and stupid women, which is the majority. That's not my fault. Alex says, 2 years ago, I was 6'1" and 105 pounds soaking wet. I started working out and I've gained 35 pounds and wouldn't go back. I never knew the value of physical fitness because no one ever showed me. All right, you guys, I've given you another 5 minutes. There's 3 minutes on the clock. I have 2. You know what? If to the 2 people that bought it, you got to blame the other people in the chat if they wasted your money. Otherwise, we'll try again next time. I don't know what to tell you guys. Pearl demands millions. I didn't demand millions. I demanded 10 signups. That's not crazy. She said no refunds. Well, told you she got 10 and I didn't get 10. You know what? The people that want to misunderstand me in the chat, you can just misunderstand me. Gaslight, whatever. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with it. And Sorry, someone replied to my tweet. It was kind of funny. I tweeted, I said, I wonder if there would be less gay men if American women weren't so fat. Because I was thinking the other day, I'm like, we're so fat. Have we turned away the men into women? And Mark Lowbliner says, I see your point. I do. But I think some men just prefer penis. No matter how lean the man, penis just isn't my thing. Oh, too funny. All right. You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get a yearly membership. 2 minutes. No. I've given you guys 10 minutes to sign up. Now, I don't mean to be rude. I mean, you guys don't have to. But if you guys aren't signing up, I'm not getting paid from YouTube. It's like, let me get this straight. You want me to go over my scheduled programming to make you happy for $0. Now, I do this for the love of it. I love doing a show. It's so fun to me. I mean, I used to watch Ellen. I used to watch Steve Harvey. I used to love talk shows. But you're asking me to go over the love of it and just do it forever, as long as you want. But nobody works for free. Thank you. Pearl's new business is begging on YouTube. Yeah. You have 0 listeners in your chat. I mean, do you know what I mean? They said Pearl hates me. She told me. Never. Can you do dono chats? Is that something I should set up? Dono chats? Let me look it up. Again, I don't need dono chats. What I need, maybe I will, but what would be better, I just sign up to the website. You're being way too considerate, Pearl. I would have just bounced. Oh, I'm about to. Just ended. Sorry to the 2 people that bought it. I required 10. I do love you guys, but I gotta go. And I'll see you guys a different day. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time. Oh, wait. Also, I hope they didn't end it yet. You can add your submission. I'm going to link it in the comments. Submit Simp of the Year and submit Catfish of the Year. I'm going to do an awards ceremony. So it's going to be a Google form pinned in the comments. Now, bye.